an approach to your ultrasound machine, how to use it, and what are the buttons we are using when we are working. Remember that at first, when you are going to start, you have a button in your machine which is pressing the probe, and this is the button which is the probe. And so, for example, this is the touch machine. I have a screen here, and so I can choose what I want. For example, I want to choose this. This is the abdominal probe, and then I can choose the option I want. For example, I'm using obstetrics, so I'm using this obstetrics, and so you will find the shift here that I'm using, and I'm ready to work with this. The importance of using obstetrics, for example, when I'm using this probe, is the measurements. When you press the button measurements, you will find on your touch screen that the biparietal head circumference, abdominal circumference, femur length, humerus length, and so on. So you'll find easily in your fetal biometry all the measurements of the fetus, because you have chosen obstetrics from the start. And that would be, of course, completely different if you did not start obstetrics option from the start when you started with this probe. Okay, so that was the first. And that if I'm measuring, but still I will not measure here. I'll start it first with the new patient. So you have to press the new patient button, and so we will end any exams and start with a new one, and then you will find this. You have to introduce the name of your patient at first, and of course you have to add, which is very important, the last menstrual period. Remember that when you see the last menstrual period, you should know how you are using this last menstrual period. For example, here we are using the month, then the days, and then the year. And that's different from one machine to the other, and so be sure at first how you are using this last menstrual period, or how you can write the day, the month, and the year. Of course, when you do this, so when you say, for example, here, okay, so we are starting your scan, and when you will start the scan, you will find automatically that we have the gestational age. For example, if you have the gestational age of 28 weeks or 30 weeks or whatever, so when you finish your measurements here, when you are using this button of measurement, and you press on it, and then you see these measurements, and when you see the measurement and you measure, you have to save. Remember that there is a button for saving, and when you save the measurements, so you will find that these measurements, if they are corresponding to the date, corresponding to the last menstrual period or not, and accordingly you are going to use the graphs. And these graphs are very important because they are responsible for knowing if this patient or if this fetus is growing normal or it's not. And accordingly, of course, you can determine if there is intrauterine growth restriction through these graphs in a serial ultrasound scan, of course, or if there is macrosomia, for example, or if there is abnormal weight or abnormal growth of these fetuses. And that will be in the next video. Thank you.